Good morning. Number one, thanks so much for being here. Obviously, this is one of those moments where you hold your breath, and once you receive the call, and you hope that the initial information is not as revealing or as bad as what actually occurred. While earlier today, at 11:53 a.m. exactly, we were meeting with dozens of principals, we did receive a call of a brawl here at Van Nuys involving 11 students, it turns out. As a result of that incident, at least one student, produced what is at this point an unidentified weapon, an object, and stabbed 2 students. Those 2 students have been transported to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries at this point. Their condition continues to be monitored. In addition to that, 2 additional students sustained some injuries as a result of battery. One of those 2 students was also transported to the hospital. So 3 students in total were transported to the hospital, 2 for stabbing wounds, 1 as a result of battery actions. The 4th student was treated at the school with minor injuries. At this point, 3 individual students have been detained and are currently being questioned by law enforcement. The school was placed immediately under lockdown shortly after 10:53 a.m. Before we knew all of the elements of this specific incident. I'd like to speak a little bit about the response time from incident to police arriving here at Van Nuys. The incident took place around 10:53 a.m. At 10:56, a little bit less than 3 minutes later, police was on site addressing the incident. And very quickly, some of the individuals were identified, resulting in them being detained and currently questioned. We have now sent 2 messages, both in English and Spanish, to the entire parent population of this school. The first message was with all of the information we had at that time. The second information actually providing additional detail, clarifying that the lockdown is not the result of an imminent threat to the school, rather in response to the initial incident and to ensure that there's full stabilization of school conditions. The school is calm. Students are in their classrooms. Nutrition, their lunch, will actually be brought to their classrooms rather than having all students converging in the cafeteria or the quad. By the way, the incident took place in the quad of the school, rather popular area and reasonably congested. We expect in a bit of time from now that all activities at school will resume as normally scheduled, and we anticipate that dismissal at the end of the day will be conducted as scheduled as well. We may opt, based on the direction from the principal, for some degree of staggering dismissal to reduce crowds around school. Let me address an issue that obviously probably some of you would ask anyway. As a result of board policy going back close to 2 years ago, there's currently no policy that allows for school board police officers on campus during the regular school day. However, once you know better, you must do better. And since I arrived in Los Angeles, I have directed regional superintendents and the principals, if they know of, suspect of, have any information that would put them in a position of feeling that the presence of a police officer as an agent of détente to ensure safety and security in school would be appropriate, they can request the presence of that officer. As of today, Van Nuys will have the presence of an officer within its school facilities. This is a school that houses actually 2 different schools, Van Nuys as well as a continuation school. Van Nuys serves about 2,200 students. the continuation school around 200 students. 2,400 students, considering what took place here today, warrants for the presence of at least one police officer. This is the type of incident that is difficult to anticipate, and we have to rely on what people know and can convey to us. These don't necessarily happen spontaneously. So we continue to urge parents and students to tell us about what they know so we can prevent these types of incidents from occurring. With that said, the response time was very appropriate. We have on site right now additional counselors and psychiatric social workers to address the trauma that some students and staff may be experiencing. Those additional staff members will continue to be deployed to this school for as long as necessary. We are also ready to provide counseling support to the families of the students involved.